been Cloud9 way, is if the players are like, don't want this one, don't like this one, they leave it to ones they avoid what they don't.
And if you haven't seen, Cloud9 play regionally this year, you may be, new to seeing Nisqy on this squad, right? Jensen obviously leaving, joining TL after making it to semifinals at Worlds with Cloud9. And Nisqy not only has kind of filled that shoes, but Cloud9 now very much plays around him. So much of Cloud9's success is based on jungle mid 2v2, Svenskeren, the North American MVP, Nisqy playing incredibly aggressive, and something like the Qiyana really does fit the bill. Cloud9 love to get advantages in that mid 2v2, utilizing Svenskeren's powerful early game, and then take it elsewhere on the map. And that is generally how they get their bot lane going, how they get into that team fight stage.
They do go the route of the Elise, and you would expect an AP jungler alongside what we assuming will be Renekton and Qiyana, and potentially the players picking champions for themselves. Will be Sven's first Elise of the summer season. Obviously a pick he's played in previous metas, but not necessarily a pick that Cloud9 have gravitated towards, and the Qiyana's still there to be grabbed if they want it.
So is the Heimerdinger, though. I'm not going to talk about the...
I'd be hyped.
Oh,
hey!
Let's go.
Yeah!
All right, so this, I am expecting to be Heimerdinger bot for Sneaky. This is a pick that I actually was talking about earlier with Griffin, and it has been getting played in solo queue. You have been seeing people practicing this up. It is considered quite a strong bot lane duo. Even back when you think to, some of the previous G2 bot lane days, they were playing this as well. So, will allow you to have that mage bot. Traditionally, in a lot of the games that I've been hearing, people are pairing it with some of these marksman picks in one of the solo lanes. So I'd be interested to see if they do go for something like a Lucian, as the Tristana has already been taken away, to pair alongside it and still maintain that AD damage.
And it's feeling already a bit mad scientist for Cloud9, because you start looking at their tendencies so far, and they've played no Renekton games, no Elise games, no Heimerdinger games. This is some mad scientist stuff, and I'm excited to see if it all fits, because we said Heimerdinger was going to come out in our OP or INT segment before we started off World's group stage, and yet it really does feel like you're good at it or you're not so good at it. It's very much going to be user error.
Does mean that we have some slightly strange bans from HongKong Attitude in the second phase. The Qiyana and the Pyke still removed. Of course, Qiyana could go to the mid lane. Pyke could be played as a support alongside the Heimerdinger. Cloud9 will get rid of the Veigar and the Kai'Sa, because that Tristana is probably flexing either to top or mid.
Yeah, and the other thing we do have to remember, although I am kind of calling this out as a bot lane pick, there is the possibility of this being a Heimer mid there for Nisqy and still playing a more standard marksman bot. Cloud9 do kind of reserve the right to make that move over. Yuumi, still available, will be locked in here, and can work very well alongside some of these divers. When you look at the Gragas, when you look at the Akali, that can be a very dangerous pairing when it comes to team fight time. Akali flying in with this Yuumi ultimate, rooting people in place.
Divers against Heimerdinger, though, can definitely be heavily punished. Let's see how Cloud9 round out their draft. I'm greedy. I want 2 more unique picks. Let's go all new on the group stage. This doesn't look new.
No, it doesn't look new. Nautilus has been around for a while, and it looks like it's going to get locked in for Cloud9. I do want to bring up the option of a Garen bottom lane for HongKong Attitude. It means you have pretty good sustain. Heimerdinger, yes, he'll push you in, but you don't lose that matchup too much, and you can scale up.
Yeah, it's certainly for HK. We could also see, them bring the Tristana. It doesn't have to be the lane if they want to go that route. They do have a lot of options. I like the Aurelia here for Cloud9. I'm expecting this to be flexed between mid and top, very likely. Both Renekton and the Aurelia are very powerful, in those solo lanes when paired up with the Elise. More likely, I think, to see the Renekton top, try to facilitate some of those tower dives, but Lucian Yuumi, kind of an old NA special. This is what was considered very popular in the early days as somewhat of an aggressive lane that could really be sped up. But Sivir I do really like as an answer perhaps into Heimer. It's going to be none of them, so it will be the Garen. Interesting.
And it's another melee champion to potentially funnel into one of those super mega death turrets that the Heimerdinger can put down. So, team fighting wise, execution will have to be pretty instantaneous. Gragas and Akali coming at the same time. We got the confirmation. Nisqy has been the most likely to pick up the Aurelia. It's his most played in summer season, and actually Zazul's first Nautilus game. So overall, it's 4 first times, and yet I actually like where the 5 champions come together, unless HongKong Attitude can get their snowball on.
Yeah, and my question really is going to be, for Cloud9, are they able to kind of push the base? Are they able to find the team fights that they will need? Because this is not a sieging comp, right? This is a comp that has to kill you, then take the objectives, generally speaking. You can go to neutrals like the Baron, utilize
North America Worlds and Cloud9 are so intrinsically linked because they have always been the most reliable performing team at the World Championship. Speaking of reliable performing, Renekton Elise tells you a story about topside pressure. We'll see if 3Z can be very much on the economy of specifically using his Shroud. Otherwise, the kills can come thick and fast.
Certainly can. And something else worth pointing out is that Niski not only has he gone a combat summoner, it is the exhaust. So taking the exhaust here, perhaps thinking that he may be ending up, against the Akali in a 1v1 later on, can be very effective there. But also for this Tristana, because while people think of Tristana as this hyper-scaling late-game champion, in the solo lanes with the Ignite, you can get very aggressive with that rocket jump. And when you are up against someone who has that exhaust, it becomes incredibly risky to look for those sorts of plays. So certainly see if they can play around that.
And while Tristana fits the archetype of kind of a squishier champion that Aurelia can burst at level 6 with Ignite, she has so many forms of disengage. Flash, rocket jump is like half of mid lane because it's a short lane, and the ultimate as well, the buster shot. Not going to be a reliable all-in, so I don't mind the exhaust for some 2v2 utility.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to come, right? It's not going to be so much about the 1v1 unless Niski is massively ahead and can one-round him. It's going to be about Svenskeren and Niski pairing up, layering the cocoon as well as that stun, then trying to burst him down, chase him down. And if you can get those sorts of advantages, you can really start to take over the map and look to snowball bot, where we're going to see Sneaky setting up this turret line and looking to create a permanent push on this turret to whittle away at those turrets, because it's so difficult to actually engage forward into this.
I mean, I just look at this game and I say, if I'm Svenskeren, I'm looking at my lips. These are three great lanes to gank for. Maybe mid lane is a bit more situational than top and bot, but this is top tier when it comes to gankable lanes. So Svenskeren's path, things on point, and we're talking about the MVP of the summer season of the LCS. It's going to be a lot to like here, a lot to work with, so it's very much on Sven. 2 camps bot side, both big buffs claimed on his first invasion route.
Looks at the moment to just be getting some vision on where Crash is on that Gragas. We'll spot him out at the Krugs.
Yeah, and he's just pinging him out. They didn't know he was there, but they're actually looking for this, and Crash is fairly low, so he will have to back off very likely. Actually, smiting a small Krug there just for the heal to try to prepare for any potential. Actually looking for this, and Crash is fairly low, so he will have to back off very likely. Actually, smiting a small Krug there just for the heal to try to prepare for any potential dive that could have come through. So that alone may help to dissuade this, and Crash is now going to have to defend 3Z as he tries to pick up as much farm as possible.
Super polished move from Cloud9 where Licorice slow pushes as Svenskeren's pathing is Krugs at worst and maybe a kill at best. So very much going to be a topside domination. Extra information to 3Z.
Yeah, and if Svenskeren wanted to go for it, he could actually potentially double scuttle, right? He already has the top one. You're going to have permanent push on this bottom side. Preferential recall here for Niski already complete as well. Going back early on, grabbing that rejuve beat in the Doran's going to be working towards his Tiamat. So, the potential to grab both of those, but it is Crash path.
Awareness of exactly where C9 were.
So the call off by Svenskeren came in. If he didn't take his wolves, his jungle path would have been awkward, so really wanted to actually return, come through, and have a safer future clear. It gives up a scuttle, but definitely not the biggest objective.
HongKong Attitude coming through planes, of course, defeated Isurus Gaming from the Latino America League. First time we've seen both of those regions join up together, but HongKong Attitude were able to take the win in pretty convincing fashion. They didn't really have to show too much. Unified, accepting the wave as it gets towards them and not losing out too much.
Yeah, exactly. And while this is kind of the permanent push on the bottom side, which is perhaps giving Svenskeren more of an ability to have some options for his ganks, they are not denying a lot of farm, right? The farm is essentially dead even here, so Sneaky is moving up that turret line, and I think they are trying to be able to punish and grab those turret plates a little bit more. The initial turret line was set up actually about midway through that lane, and now moving it forward, perhaps trying to punish.
The cost of that pushing is the fact that A, the CS is being safely claimed by the melee Garen, and Kaiwing is also going to be getting plenty of gold on his AP support items, so because of that, will be probably online with plenty of AP stack as the game goes on. Again, I look at the Heimer and think if the Heimer's not silenced and killed, not really sure how much that matters.
Yeah, definitely the case. I mean, you talked about all this dive, all these people that want to go through, and if Heimer is able to build towards the zonies, get the ultimate turret down, these sorts of things, it becomes incredibly dangerous if you cannot one round into that top lane. There were assist pings up there from Licorice up that way.
Full-on dive. Svenskeren cuts the wave. Wave pushing in. There's only 6 minions, and 3Z and Crash should be pretty good at just clearing these ones out.
Yeah, I've got to give a lot of credit to Crash, honestly. Has really understood where Svenskeren would be and the timings at which 3Z will be in danger, right? When that wave is being stacked and slowly pushed in, that is where you are most at risk, especially without teleport. If 3Z dies there, that's devastating, and they dissuade that. And also, Mission able to grab that turret blade mid.
Pops the Vanguard's edge hit.
Oh, nice.
It's the disengage we talked about. Too easy. Rocket jump, buster shot. Even had the flash in his back pocket.
Crash's pathing got a turret play. That's half a kill. That's a really nice pickup there from the side.
Down onto Niski here.
So you have to like how well concepted that was. Mid lane exhaust actually used.
Yeah, Ignite goes down onto Niski here, but Niski gets the kill, will fall in return. 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, really aggressive play there. That's the kind of stuff that has made a name for Niski in North America. Fully confident to go in for it. The wave, though, I'm not sure if it's going to fully reach Mission's turret. I think eventually it will push in.
Pretty greedy by the grass. He goes for Scuttle over trying to reset the minion wave. Actually pretty greedy by the grass. He goes for Scuttle over trying to reset the minion wave in mid, and it will be so many creeps lost to mid lane. There was an initial ping, and it seemed like Crash overrided his mid laner, gave it up.
Yeah, I thought he was going to sit there, either reset or even just hold, right? If you freeze that wave for your mid laner, the trade of kills is not bad or can even be beneficial, right? You can get an experience and a gold lead despite the fact that it was the first blood. It was already
aimed out the rocket jump, and that's why
there from Niski, and no hesitation. He knows his time. The ultimate was already used, and that is just a beautiful setup there from Niski, and no hesitation. He knows his limits.
I believe he also timed out the rocket jump, and that's why it wasn't used in this play. And again, it seems like nitpicking talking about the minion wave not being picked up, but it was slow pushing in. Yeah. There was a ping on it, and that was actually the reason why the 1-for-1 was preferential for Cloud9, was that the minions were very unlikely to be picked up by Mission.
I think we can be nitpicky on a world stage. It's the little things that matter in games like this, especially when you have Griffin and G2 in your group and wins against teams like HongKong Attitude can totally change the landscape of your possibility of qualifying for those quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, people have really talked about this game, as such an important one for both these two teams, because the other two opponents are so monumental, so strong in this group that you really do need to get wins wherever you can get them if you want to try to scrape up enough wins to perhaps upset someone and then have a chance.
Then that adds and just know it's a simple equation of needing to win here and not relying on other results.
Well, 7-hand Licorice down the map.
And I think more than a mistake from Svenskeren, it's a credit to Crash, who has just played this beautifully, who has been where he needed to be, expecting him, but this may be Crash face checking.
Going straight onto Crash. Crash falls solo. The stun lands onto Niski, but already Crash is down. Niski pushed back. Mission tried to trade in, but Zazel on his way up means that Mission can't do anything more.
Turns out Crash handed in this assignment a little bit late. Only partial credit, guys, to him on this early game. Should be worth mentioning that with Svenskeren.
It's like a split. I do believe he died shortly before that. Otherwise, perhaps, would have had the tools necessary to delay. And we aren't actually going to get to see the clock here, so we won't know exactly. But I do believe this was seconds before that 10-minute mark, and it'll net them the kill, it'll net them the dragon.
Hard to say whether he would have lived through it, but he definitely would have pressed the button, right? At the end of the day, Cloud9 do pick up that kill. The CS lead up to 16 in top, 14 in mid. Things falling into place. It's not the greatest trade ever for Akali.
I think it's looking very good.
No Shroud, he wants it.
Licorice looking for the 1v1 in the top lane. 3Z jumps away, but Licorice, Curl the Meat, not going to have enough damage. Now flashes away, the flash chase from 3Z! Svenskeren on his way, though. He's trying to answer to the death of his top laner. 3Z pops the Shuriken, gets cocooned, and Sven sinks in the fangs.
Yeah, nicely cleaned up there by Svenskeren, but Licorice miscalculating a little bit. Perhaps had the E on cooldown, couldn't actually have the slice and dice cooldown there, but
first idea, we commend him on the execution, not so hot. Like a bot lane all.
Looks like Svenskeren is very strong objective control.
And I'm going to be very interested to see if he actually does commit this to the top side of the map. If you want to put that solo gold perhaps on Licorice, try to get it's going to be the play. So I do expect him to actually allow this to be solo gold. But if they want to push immediately for that first turret and Niski's roaming up, I think instead they'll just try to make sure they secure this turret here.
Riftail's going to charge in. 3Z underneath it, goes into the Twilight Shroud. Licorice maybe looking for the stun. Used it on a minion instead. Svenskeren switches forms and just pushes out the way.
I actually really like ending the laning phase of Akali, who hasn't mainlined Gunblade. The Seeker's Arm Guard delaying the Gunblade timing, that one item power spike we know and love, means that it's going to be a while till Akali has that same burst threat to the back line. And that means that C9 will continue to just have combat advantages in their items. And first rotation is very clear. They're very deep.
It certainly is, and I think they're really trying to set up here for a potential dive. They have wrapped around. They are waiting to try to catch Mission on his way back to this turret here, and if Mission mispositions, there is a possibility, but they are going to call it off, backing off, not knowing where some of these members on the map are, and Crash being absent does
Years
get as much, have the more Infernal early.
It's relatively even if you add up a Trinity Force on Niski. Cloud9 will be very strong around that Infernal Drake.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a moment when Mission could dive in. Speaking of diving in, we're seeing a attempted an all-in.
Crash is on his way. You can see Zayzor was the one looking for the engage. The knockback's actually going to land onto Sneaky, but really, this is just HKA trying to clear out the wave. That will then come up and
actually look for is Gragas' ultimate is now is a shorter cooldown, and he has more CDR, so likely will have that available. And Svenskeren looking for the counterpunch down here on this bottom side.
Walks onto a ward. It was controlled, so Svenskeren able to now clear that one out. And with 30 seconds on the clock before the Infernal, you can see where C9 Mind is.
They're playing towards timers everywhere. Licorice knows the jungle's been drawn bot side. Well, I'll go steal the red.
A little bit.
Yeah, Licorice will have to back off. This is actually so interesting. You know, HongKong Attitude doesn't look like they even want to challenge this, right? You know, they're actually sending Gary and Yuumi to the mid lane, so Svenskeren, by all means, could just start this up. They're going to try to take away some jungle camps on the top side and look to actually pressure that top lane turret, you know, with the rotation of Mission up there, looking to just get some gold immediately as they don't feel they can challenge.
They just don't feel like they can re-invade a weak side against stacks of CC.
Yeah.
That part I don't mind. Unfortunately, where the trade-ups are coming a little bit turret.
If you're a Cloud9 fan looking at this game, is the bloodless gold lead that they've had. Yes, they've been 5 kills in the game, but they haven't gained this gold lead by going for heavy skirmish fights. They haven't gained it better.
You know, my question for C9 really is going to be how well can you close out this game,
Yeah.
right? You know, are you able to do that? Because I have faith that, you know, a player like Sneaky, who's known for learning these new champions, can learn a Heimerdinger well for lane, but can you master the late game team fights?
Cocoon doesn't hit there onto 3Z. He goes into the Twilight Shroud, gonna try and jump away, but the rest of Cloud9 are on their way. HKA looking for the fight. The belly bot comes in, flash forward. There's the explosive cask as well, but already Crash has fallen. Mission jumps in. Mission looking to flash out. Here comes Unified from the side with Kawing by his side. You can see Licorice going in. The exhaust comes down onto him. Unified still has his flash, and Cloud9 might back away here. They don't want any more of this fight.
Not enough bark behind the bite of the Garen, so able to trade evenly in the moment that Sneaky joined. Well, that was going to be the end of it from the side of HongKong Attitude. C9 continue to push. They can continue to try to pressure.
Niski not going to be straight into the IE. Much turret.
Just to chip away at that tower pretty rapidly. Damage coming down onto Crash. The rockets hitting from Sneaky. Unified able to clear against Licorice in the mid lane, but Niski's on his way. He's going to dash forward. Won't go any further.
I mean, to put sharing experience in CS where they can.
Ooh, Licorice narrowly avoiding that shuriken flip. I feel like 3Z could have actually done the reverse timer. They're going to
As a support main, I'm very happy with that. I think that's fine.
You can E-spam for days.
Yeah, chuck out more Qs in the lane. It's fine.
Might have been Nautilus picking up the kill and Sneaky getting it. Hard to tell, but they've both got blues at the moment. Pushing through here, and it seemed inevitable that they've both got blues at the moment. Goes down.
This is the thing, right? Usually what we talk, I've seen enough Garen Yuumi to the other side of the map playing, understanding what you have to give up. Unified in a little bit of trouble, but I've seen enough Garen Yuumi to know he can pretty much run away until the dredge line connects. Here comes Crash, knocked back. Sneaky's going to join the fight as well, but Unified's still alive, and Niski's died underneath the tower. He will pay with his life. C9 still chasing. They'll take down Crash at the end of the fight.
It is just the 1-for-1, but C9 going to try to continue this push. They will be dissuaded by this Garen Yuumi, and as you say, so hard to actually fully on engage into that. There's so many melee champions here on Cloud9, and as you're diving forward, you're entering the Yuumi ultimate, you're getting rooted up, and Garen is so tanky and so hard to actually lock down with this cat attached to him.
It's just why you're frustrated, right? Because you really want to be taking down this mid lane.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that is outstanding when it comes to early game balance. But as we outlined earlier, they don't have the same tools
They're
to do
looking.
that. In mid lane,
Licorice coming in, unspotted on a control ward, looking for Unify. Unify, no flash, no escape for the moment. Pops the courage, trying to get away. Jumped off from Kawing, jumped back in. Licorice knocked away with the Buster Shot, and still Unified survives.
Last Renekton, both his summoners, and C9 looking relentless around this mid lane.
3Z's trying to get in behind them here, perhaps has found the flank position. The Akali with the perfect execution available. Cloud9 still unable to take down that mid lane tower, still with a 3,000 gold lead. 21 minutes in, the Mountain Drake now spawned. Cloud9 have fought around both the dragons so far this game. 3Z's run down towards the bottom side, separated from his squad. But HKA still able
On the mid.
now, they don't have the inside track. This tower should fall.
And it's smart of C9 to just double down on the mid lane, on the visible. As here's the ult.
Final chapter coming down, and look at the damage already on Zeyzal. He's gone. So has the tower, but
Here
HongKong
comes 3Z.
Attitude might look for more of the fight. 3Z. If you had the stun on the ult, I think 3Z goes in there, but that's being patched out.
Oh, Cloud9 are actually looking to try to threaten the Baron, as we see that HongKong Attitude is going down to this dragon. Cloud9 are at least trying to force a response, perhaps pull them off it. They do have the Heimer, which is pretty quick, but this would be way too risky with this Garen Yuumi in the area.
Unified gonna face check straight into the cocoon, but once again, slow on the disables. Unified gets away. Licorice on the backline. 3Z jumping in the Twilight Shroud, has to dash away. Dragon goes down. HKA get it. And C9 do not get a kill. Once again, HongKong Attitude standing tall here in these mid lane.
Gonna get it as fast. And try to bait HongKong Attitude away from the Drake 4v5. Not gonna get it. They don't start it, nothing invested.
Oh.
They're gonna go for it now. Remember, they don't have the Heimerdinger ult to get this faster.
Yeah, they don't, and HKA likely going to spot it out. Unified in the area, but they were kind of counting on the fact that they would have thought they would reset, but this is going down so quickly. Are they going to commit? Crash is here.
Crash has a blast cone. Crash has an ultimate. Crash has a smite. Could look through
gotta
it
pull
here.
off.
Svenskeren is low. Unified once again on the front line. Flawless duet stuns him up, but that Baron now has reset, and HKA can continue to chase in. Sneaky has to flash away. The final chapter did not find its mark, but Cloud9 are pushed away from the river.
Yeah, Cloud9 do get pushed back. I like the attempt because that would have been a normal reset timing there for Cloud9. So they were kind of banking on the fact that HKA would say, yeah, Heimerdinger, but
C9 smart. Do note, including
fight escalating into this Fang, getting to that. If C9 gets poked down really at all,
Wanting so far. Svenskeren, HongKong Attitude into fights as the game progresses, wanting to get them towards these neutral objectives. So far, C9 haven't found really the engages that they'd like. Jump away here by Mission as the depth charge came out, but Svenskeren's already fallen. Licorice with the dominance down towards the bottom side of the fight is going to try and get onto 3Z. Stuns him up with the Ruthless Predator, but HKA are chasing him from the top. 3Z not separated from his team any longer, but pulled back with a dredge line. Dashes away with the flip, and HKA get a kill and get out.
yeah, they just don't have the damage to kill this Garen, and he is the only target that is presenting himself. Unified is just running in their face with this Yuumi, and Cloud9 do not have the consistent damage really without a marksman to actually burst him down.
And the gold lead that was almost 4,000 is now under 2. 1,500 gold lead here for C9. And unless they can find a way to break through this Garen line, they are going to struggle for the rest of the game.
I feel like they need to go to the side lanes, right? You've seen they cannot actually break through this Garen. He is going to continue to be so damn pesky, so you need to take the Aurelia and the Renekton and start to split the map. Get vision control, look for picks with your Nautilus and Elise as people are moving back and forth across this map, and stop just trying to run straight at HKA.
And as the game goes on, eventually Tristana has 6 items. And that is a very not necessary game. Within lane, invites, there's all. And then,
and they're content to just sit back, poke with HKA actually assist pings coming over. They
have been there kind of the whole game for Cloud9, but turning that into future objectives has proven difficult recently. As mid lane, we're getting some brawling.
He chunked out once again. Svenskeren's on his way. Unified down to half HP. They're trying to take Kai Wing. They take him out before he can jump back onto one of his teammates, and now Unified is the next target. Niski flashing forward, can't quite find it. Unified flashes away, but 3Z is coming in from the side.
They got away from the Garens. They're going to get the Infernal for certain. That was what they've been looking for, the better part of the last 10 minutes.
in this double Infernal, lot of you have continue sitting on this. We need Unified cannot play with just reckless abandon.
And it's the most power now. I actually think both Void Staff and Zone Use are going to be very important here. But what Garen is this? I think the Baron goes down, so do HongKong Attitude.
You can see where the damage is coming from on either side. Sneaky. Highest damage in the game on this Heimerdinger. Of course, laning into a Garen will help you do that. And Kai Wing on the other side, twice as much damage as anyone else on his team. A flank, a possibility. Svenskeren and Niski in from behind here. No flash on the Aurelia. The Cocoon doesn't connect.
Yeah, they are going to be able to back off. C9 was not on vision. Then you look at backline to sustain them back up to health.
They have not drafted for the NA-ramp. That
No.
part is clear, and they seem to be well aware of that, which is good to see. Licorice rolling through, taking over this red side jungle, and Crash walks up. He'll die quick.
Vision control very much in the hands of C9. The Cocoon's going to hit, but it's only onto Unified. Here comes the final chapter. Rooted up is Sneaky, knocked back by the cask, and HongKong Attitude disengage.
But again, C9, you just can't go for that play. Great, you hit a Cocoon, but it's on the Garen. You need to recognize, have a little bit more patience here, that it's not going to work out because that is costing the flash off of Zeyzal that is getting Sneaky down low on health and is losing them pressure on the map, right?
Timing there, and it's definitely that is truly the Garen. Everyone else takes huge damage. Come in.
Targets and feeling like the question becomes, I just rushed.
You were saying take down these turrets, but as you
Back to the pit, one can give it over for free.
T-edge on this Tristan. Svenska and Cocoon not quite going to land. Own jungle and clear it out.
There's somewhere is try to coordinate the minion wave pushing into Garen with an invasion to try to get deep vision or catch someone up. If Garen controlled them.
Another problematic thing, differential trades against the Sakala build. And as a result, we are seeing 3Z take the better end of a lot of these trades and just constantly pushing out his opponent. And now is HK looking for Svenskeren.
Now Niski will have a flank here. Mission has to jump away. Unified now turning back. Realizes C9 threat is from the side. The final chapter coming out. Cloud9 looking for that fight. The knockups landed. Cocoon lands onto the Gragas as well. But already Svenskeren has had Demacian Justice on his head. Zayda in the middle of the fight is still alive.
Here comes 3Z.
Here comes 3Z. Mission on a rampage. Shut down on 3Z. Licorice takes it. Sneaky tries to flash away, but Mission crash. Unified and Kai Wing are still alive. The flash in from Licorice tries to get the damage in the Cole. The Meek not quite enough. He dashes out. The Sterax keeping him healthy.
Yeah, Cloud9 trying to go for it, but again, don't have the damage. And this villain mechanic that Unified actually had on Svenskeren, allowing him to knock him down so incredibly quickly, they're not able to punch through the Garen again, and when able to get the strong ability to actually turn and fight HK. But this is now a death cap on Kai Wing. He is getting so ridiculously strong, and HK are just playing the team fights out very well. The exhaust dropped on Svenskeren. He has no ability to actually turn and fight here.
He has to use to repel onto the plant there, even to escape the first time, but then he makes a crucial mistake, walks up again when Garen spells her up and dies. So that's the reality of being ultra squishy. They try to necessitate a fight from here, and the moment the Sneaky puts down the turret, you get to understand how the fights will play out against the melee divers. Mission's health bar low. Licorice was lucky that his health bar was so full. It's hat in the
And more, which is having a
just in North America is something that people have lamented for years, and it's something that right now seems to be hurting them when it comes to a stage game. They haven't found a way to actually force too much out of HK, and I'll actually argue that Sneaky, when he went in this large rod, we really liked it, but now he's kind of weaker than Huge Bird about it.
And then the guy in
out of a group when it comes to the international stage, looking for a
spinning him.
own here. Licorice is to make it work, and HKA looking for a win of their own here. Licorice is looking for the flank, but it's HKA going in.
Final chapter coming out. Unified now spinning his way out of the fight. Niski going forward. Licorice can get in from the side. The Vanguard's edge is great. Svenskeren jumping in. Crash gonna get knocked up, but he goes golden. Unified still on the front line, stunned up. Here's Mission on the back line trying to get the damage down. Crash almost falling. Sneaky's gone down to 3Z, who got in from the side, but Unified has fallen as well. Zeyzal trading with 3Z down towards the bottom side of this fight. One more order might be enough, but Zeyzal will be the one to go down. And C9 still have 3 players alive, while HKA have 4.
That could have been a great fight, but 3Z able to get on Sneaky and take him down. You called it out, Papa Smithy. No stopwatch, no Zonius to actually be able to actually save himself from that dive. He just gets knocked down, and 3Z able to limp away.
And now HongKong Attitude are in the gold lead for the first time in a long time.
They get the replay of this way. This was almost the perfect scenario because Licorice got free backline access, got a nice flank angle that HongKong Attitude tried to lower down, and it was initiated by HongKong Attitude. That's why they were actually way further down than before, and some of the CC actually worked, but they can't actually finish any kills because they haven't actually necessitated flashes earlier, and in the resting state, like you mentioned, Dezeo, Heimerdinger is one of the people to go down fairly easily.
Certainly is. Death Cap, though, completed for Sneaky, expecting him to when you are...
Run it down, take his work. Otherwise, a lot of other scenarios go on the flank instead. They're going to try this play once more.
Copy and paste here for Cloud9. Licorice will have 3Z face check into him, but there's Blast Cone there if he wants it. Licorice still on the chase with the slice and dice. 3Z goes into the Twilight Shroud, pops the Gunblade, but Some good damage coming out from the Renekton right there.
That, but I mean,
Feel good. He would have gone up a G. Is very.
the question for me is just, can they even draw a second person? And now it feels like a little bit of desperation time here. Cloud9 just staying on this. Crash is in the area. This is incredibly risky.
Kaiwing has no mana. Svenskeren down to half HP, 3,000 HP on the Baron. Crash goes in, but Sneaky gets it. And now the fight really starts. Licorice looking for the backline access. Nisky going to jump away. Mission on the chase. But Svenskeren's already taken down Crash. The Vanguard's edge has been used. Meanwhile, in the pit, C9 are being corralled into a choke point. 3Z, there goes Golden. Kaiwing is still sitting on Unified, but Unified will fall. 3Z goes down as well. Kaiwing just about survives on the backline, but C9 get the Baron.
Yeah, Cloud9 flip a coin, and it comes up heads for them. They are going to take that Baron on the 50-50. Very risky. It was neither jungler who secured the Baron. It is, in fact, Sneaky, I do believe, here with a turret. Crash gets into the pit, and that was ultimate and smite coming through. The smite wasn't even used by Svenskeren. That was just straight up risky, but it did work out.
And watch Mission, who has 4 items on Tristana, do 0 damage in this fight. The saddest Dragon Trainer Tristana you've ever seen. Walking left and right, happy 40 on the top side. They lost out on Limitless.
But, you know, I agree.
Because he could never find access.
Yeah, I mean, there's Svenskeren having a laugh, but, you know, I agree. Had he actually them from into the...
All haven't been able. Element has come. They all come in the
Eyes towards look across aren't going to give us time to talk as Svenskeren loses a third of his health to a single Q. Sneaky getting chunked out as well. Zazel trying to be the bouncer. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Nisky is pushing in on this Irelia, and Cloud9 are acting as bouncers for them.
Yeah, finally getting some sort of a side lane advantage there. Nisky knocking down a turret. Cloud9 are going to try to shepherd in this mid lane where the inhibitor is already down, have the pressure of those super minions, and then look to get an advantage on this side. You can see Nisky's up in the top lane. Svenskeren and Licorice are going to be kind of this roaming squad to try to draw in HK and attack where they're weakest.
Their wave clear against Baron. Leaves a bit to be desired. Only Tristana can help in that particular gamut. Final winding comes in. 30 seconds left. The gold's there, but the turrets, that's the thing they're most hoping for. Gonna avert them for now.
And I mean, honestly, waiting for the next Baron and trying these plays that have not been working for Cloud9 once again, because they have shown, you know, the unwillingness or the inability to play out the game in a different manner.
Turret down to half HP here in the top lane, though. Those minions are chipping away at it bit by bit. 3Z in the mid lane going to try and keep these super minions at bay. But C9 very happy just to wait this one out. Another wave coming in, the Baron about to fall off. And you expect when that does, perhaps Cloud9 will back away. They have got a big wave in the mid lane, so perhaps could stay around for one more push. Unified going in, Svenskeren's dead. Zazel may be short to follow as well as the final chapter coming out. Sneaky was rooted in place, Crash looking for the chase, but there's 2 for Unified. They've already taken down 3 now, and C9 have collapsed. They overstayed in the top lane. Nisky trying to put the Vanguard's edge down, but he's getting chased out. GA popped, and perhaps pop goes C9's hopes of closing out this game.
Yeah, HongKong Attitude gonna wipe them off the map. 4 kills going to happen. They are not.
Gonna watch the replay of this attempt to close. The greed is there. Remember Baron buff recently going down. Plop down onto Svenskeren. Was that Garen ultimate. The double kill comes through, and Sneaky does not have Zhonya's still in this play, so he offers very little towards the tail end. GAs go down, efficiency is gone, and it's actually a little bit different than you lay out there, is we're not back to stage 1 because this cat and in
almost full. The upgrade comes. You know, they certainly had, you know, place. Maybe they had the early.
Was mentioning about the high much dinger.
For Cloud9 would be good in the state of Group A for them. They could challenge Griffin, they could challenge G2. That ship has sailed. We're now debating, will they get third in this group? Will they actually be able to put up any sort of fight against G2 and Griffin later on? We'll see. It's only day 1 for this team, but now the final chapter's coming out from HongKong Attitude. Crash has already fallen, Unified force back, TP coming in. Licorice is going to join the fight, and 3Z isn't there yet. The knockback, Nisky's taking down. Mission goes unstoppable, but Mission will fall, and C9 find the fight they want in the mid lane. Unified and Kaiwing trying to run away. The 20-page death book For Kai Wing is doing a lot of work. 3Z going to join the fight, but for now, C9 have just backed off.
Yeah, Cloud9 looking to move up towards this Baron. HK had done such a good job absorbing the engages, but when they tried to engage there, they did give Heimerdinger that win condition. They pile into the turrets. The ultimate turret came down from Sneaky, and he had the Zonias. We'll see, can Kai Wing poke them off this Baron, though?
Sneaky, no flash. No Zonias, 3Z stepping forward, Kai Wing there as well. Baron goes down, but have Cloud9 sacrifice their lives for it. Unified still healthy, 3,000 HP on him. Sneaky goes low, no flash remember, but he's going to back in the back of the pit. Unified being chased down, the final chapter coming out once again. Unified will take the kill as Kai Wing gets one. Now he's going to jump onto 3Z, heals him up with the zoomies. Exhaust goes down on Licorice, Kai Wing jumps out, gets the shield back. Licorice on a double kill though, and Kai Wing has nowhere to go. C9 finally find the fight.
Cloud9 will get their kill, will get their Baron. The Elder Dragon is also up, but there's pings from mid lane. They want to try to run this one down. 50 seconds on the timer for 3Z. The question is, do you go mid lane inhibitor then to Elder, or do you take the risk to look to end this game?
Seems like Cloud9 have made their choice, but with Mission alive, it is going to be tricky. The cat finally falls. All of this with Akali not being able to row. The death timers still in double digits.
I think Cloud9 just wanted the mid lane inhib. Didn't want Licorice to be forced back, but if he was there by himself.
Will AD injected to these nearly full builds here for Cloud9, as well as the true damage burn, which is going to be very effective, especially on this Heimer, who can poke and apply not only that Leandry's buff and burn, but this big Elder Dragon burn.
But we get one more. One more team fight between Cloud9 and HongKong Attitude.
You can see Elder Saloon last team is down to half. HKA, you've had a couple of good fights over the last few minutes. Can you find another one? Can you pull a rabbit out of the hat?
Yeah, Licorice shoving in the mid lane, but they're looking to threaten a dive. Remember, this true damage burn may be what they need to push them over the edge, and that is a bad Zonias from Crash.
Crash pops the stopwatch, but manages to survive. In the end, Sneaky takes him down, and HongKong Attitude are getting decimated in their base. 3Z trying to do something about it, but he's in the Twilight Shroud. Pops his stopwatch, goes golden, jumps out, but Licorice is on the chase. Cloud9 should just look for the Nexus, should just look for the win. It's taken them probably 20 minutes more than it needed to, but now those Nexus towers are the target. Unified on the front line with Kai Wing, he's spinning, but he's not doing too much winning right now. Kai Wing's going to jump back onto mission, but the Nexus will fall, and Cloud9 will eventually take their win.
It wasn't pretty, it wasn't quick, but a win is a win is a win, and Cloud9 will start out the group stage 1-0.
I have a saying in the LCK, exquisite performance, never in doubt, beautifully manicured victory for Cloud9.